All right, I want to just look at introducing something. So, in this next module, we're going to be covering things in both Chapter 3 and Chapter 4. And the contents of the module do extend over more than 1 week for their deadlines. And I'm pulling everything out on the web page to kind of put the assignment deadlines off to the side, because what we want to do is we want to look at really some different concepts coming together. So I'm going to create a new Java project now, and I'm going to make this for Chapter 3 so that my Chapter 3 stuff is here. I use the project folder as the root for the source files so I can find things more easily. And now I have a Chapter 3 in here. I'm going to make a new class. And what I really want to talk about right now with this new class that I'm making, again, I'm going to call this a sandbox. And I'm going to do a public static void main on it. And we have some space here. I actually want to look at our scanner package. So I'm going to come up here in between my package and my public class, and I'm going to import Java util java.util.scanner, and we'll pull that down here. And so I have not used scanner. We're going to make a new scanner object. Now remember, objects are a collection of methods in memory and the variables that go with them. And so I'm going to make a scanner object. So I have to identify it. And we're going to call it input because we use it for inputs. Now an object needs to be created. So it's going to be new scanner. And we're going to have it reading the system.in. Now what the system.in is, it is a string of information. Sorry, my puppy in the background, so I'm getting excited. I think she's upset that I am on the computer with you guys and not with her. So people have asked this in the discussion. Scanner processes text, and it turns text into other variables. And we've been using mainly double on this and integers. And it can process text from anywhere, and system.in gets the text that comes from the keyboard. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to make some integers. Again, this is a sandbox, so I'm playing around here, and I'm not leaving that many comments. I'll just call x, y, and z. We'll make some integers x, y, and z. And so what we can do is we can have x equals input, so we're referencing my object, and when I use dot next integer, it will grab the next integer off the keyboard. And so I'm just going to fill x, y, and z with integers from the keyboard. And then, as always, to see what's happening, I'm going to print out. In fact, I think I'll use a print format just because I want to get comfortable. So x equals %d for the first integer, y equals %d for the second integer, and z equals %d. And then I just need to give it my arguments, which were x, comma, y, comma, z. And so this goes back to the formatting that we said before. Now, one of the things I like to do that the book doesn't do is I like to close out my objects when I'm done. And so I have a program here. I haven't asked the user to do input, so I'm going to come up above and ask the user to enter 3 integers. Now we're just going to look at what happens when I run a program like this. So hopefully we can see my display down below. Yep. So I will run this. And now it says enter 3 integers. And I can go 3, 6, 7, all in one line. So notice I didn't enter in between each one. And what the scanner did was it took the text I had entered, 3 space 6 space 7, and it processed it to find integers. So kind of what this scanner object does, it's processing text. I actually typed in 3 space 6 space 7, and then I hit the enter key. And the enter key throws that text into system.in, and scanner says, well, we're going to grab the integers that come out of it. Now, if I run it again, I can do 3 enter, 6 enter, 2 enter. And once I get to the end of the line, and all of these have been processed, it grabs them all. And this is why we've been able to prompt the user for individual things. But look at what happens here when I don't enter an integer. 4.57. I get an exception. It's not able to process this text. It sees it as a different value. And so I can come up here, and I'm going to change these to doubles, which means that I need to change these to next double so that I can process doubles. And now we'll try to run it. And 3.2, enter, 5.6, and 7. Now notice I'm getting an exception in my format because I'm asking for integers and I'm giving it doubles. So notice typing is important here. Well, people have been asking why there's typecasting and how typing works. Well, certain parts of the program expect different type. Now I'll run this again. I shouldn't say 3 integers, they're 3 doubles. And now it prints them out with decimal places. So scanner is processing and it's looking for certain patterns in here. Well, one of the things we can do is we can try to get text values. And so I'm going to introduce another object. I'm going to get rid of all of this stuff here. And through here. And I'm just going to introduce another object after scanner. And the object I'm going to introduce is called string. And I'm going to give it the name name. And we're going to say new string. And I'll put. And so a string is a collection of characters. And we haven't had the ability to enter text before. Chapter 4 is all about processing strings, but I want to introduce the string object now. And so this gives us a collection of characters in memory. And so what I can say is name equals, let me say enter name. Equals input dot next. And notice I can get a string with just next. I can also ask for next line, which gives me an entire line of text. So I can ask the scanner class to give me the actual text that was entered. So I'm just going to put name equals input.next, and I'm going to go system.out.println, and I'm going to print name. So we'll run this and enter name, and well, my name is Jeff. And this gives me the ability now to store text in a variable. And one of the homework assignments asks you to enter a name, but we haven't really developed the object for the name yet. And we're going to dig really deep into some of the things in Chapter 4. We started to look at formatting statements, and we're going to start looking at strings while we talk about decisions that the computer can make. So this is an example of a new object. It's called a string, and there are a lot of things we can do with strings. And we're going to try to look in the lecture here, which what we'll show after this video, on how strings might be organized in memory. The reading for the first part of this module is all chapter 3. Next week we'll look at chapter 4, but the entire module work will blend concepts from both chapter 3 and 4. So we take about 2 to 3 weeks to go over this, depending on the questions I get back from people and the examples we do. And again, I've been trying to keep this as the in-person class. This is what we just started doing in class in the computer lab in front of each other, is playing with strings. So I wanted to post this short video of this, the beginning of this module.